Hey everyone, it's Alex, and today I'm here with my August TBR. I'm filming this in mid-July on account of moving, which I'm pretty sure I've mentioned in basically every single video on my channel. So, I haven't actually read my July TBR yet, so this feels a little premature, but you know, if this video was gonna go out, it needed to be filmed and scheduled now. I have 8 books. I don't know why. I won't be reading 8 books in August. That's way too many, considering I will be in the middle of moving, but this is what we have. I had 5, and then I kept thinking of things that I wanted to add for various reasons, and I kept not wanting to remove things, so you know, this is where we're at. I'm just gonna go down. I don't know why half these things are on here. I don't know why I'm doing the things that I do, but this is what I will be attempting to read in August. The first book I have, which was on the bottom, I don't know why I wanted to start here, The Girls at 17 Swann Street by Zgheib. This is a novel. I think it has to do with dancing and eating disorders. Yeah. It's a poetic and poignant debut novel, a haunting portrait of a young woman's struggle with anorexia and her intimate journey to reclaim her life. She was a professional dancer who moved to Missouri, and then I don't know anything else, but I'd wanted to read this book for like literal years, like years and years, and then I finally saw it and picked up a copy like a few months ago, and I've just been so stoked on this. Like, I keep thinking about it, and it keeps like, I need to read this book. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Like, I'm sure someone on BookTube talked about it. I don't remember who, I don't remember when. I just desperately wanted to read it. I hope it's amazing, because it's just like, I have such high hopes and high expectations for this book that like, I'm gonna be like the tiniest bit crushed if it's not just 5-star stunning. But it seems wonderful. And then I have The Morning After by Lisa Jackson, which is a romantic suspense novel. A little bit outside of my comfort zone, but I picked these up thinking they were thrillers. Well, this one less so, but like in general, the covers of them and the titles looked like thrillers. Like, one of them was called Shiver, and it was just like, I was like, oh, some like free thrillers. I grabbed them and they turned out to be romantic suspense. And this was actually the second one in a series or duology or something. So I read the first from the library, and it was like bad. Like, so bad, but like enjoyable. Like, it was the most wild ride. It just kept going and going, and like, what is happening here? It was ridiculous, and I enjoyed it so much. And then I never read anymore, because like, again, it's not my thing. Like, I wasn't hate reading it, I was enjoying it. It was just like also actively bad. But then I was recommending books to my friend for a plane ride, and she wound up reading the first one, and I was like, I really need to read the sequel. And especially since like we're hanging out in September, if she wants to read this, I can unhaul it by giving it to her. So that would also be convenient if she desires to continue the series, because I think she said she was like 300 pages in. She was just like, what is going on here? And I was like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what she was doing with that book, but I enjoyed it. I think it was called The Night Before, and this is The Morning After. And then I also have 1 or 2 more on my shelves. Romantic suspense is not really my genre, but like, these were fun, so I'm down. A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. She wrote The Secret Garden. I love The Secret Garden. I was such a fan of The Secret Garden growing up. Like, it was one of my favorite books. I have these little like fingerless gloves that are like Secret Garden printed, that are really lovely. And I just never read A Little Princess, and I know people love it, so I'm gonna read it. And I don't think I'm going to love it as much as The Secret Garden, because like, I'm not 9 years old, you know, like, the Secret Garden I grew up with and have that nostalgia for it and that childhood love. And this book won't have that, but I'm hoping I do enjoy it, like, at least as much from an adult perspective, because I don't know, I know this one's like pretty much almost as beloved. Then I have Heirs of Power by Kay MacLeod. Kay MacLeod is the sister of Kaz from Cats and Camera, who I've been watching for years, and I kept meaning to buy this book. And then I did, and then I didn't read it. It's not been that long. It's been like a couple of months. It's just when it comes to self-published books or like indie books, like small time authors, I always feel like weird and uncomfortable, and like I'm very picky with what I like, which I'm fine with, you know. I don't mind like disliking half of what I read, because it's just like I still get something out of the experience. It's still like overall enjoyable to me, even if I dislike the book. But if I hate John Green and I read a John Green book and I'm just like, oh, this is trash, I hate it, I want to talk about it for 5 minutes and talk about how terrible every aspect was, John Green doesn't care. Like, John Green has no idea who I am. He's never gonna see the video. And even if he did, like, the man is rolling in his money. Like, he doesn't care. But it's like when you read an indie author, the likelihood that they will see your review and see your thoughts is a lot higher. And it's just like, I always feel like bad about that, because I don't want to like say a bunch of negative things about a book where the author will hear me, you know? But I mean, not that I will, it's just that's why I don't read a lot of indie books, because it's just like I don't want to say negative things about authors who are going to be like, might be affected by that. I don't know. I hope I love this though. Like, I only buy indie books that I think I'll like. It's just that you never know. This is high fantasy. I think it's like a found family situation. I think the main characters are maybe in their 20s. I don't know anything about this. I don't read tons of adult high fantasy, but I always kind of like intend to. So this is the first in a series. So if I like it, hopefully I can read more. It's the Constellation Saga if you're interested. But I don't know, I want to read this. Like, I really do want to read it. I love the cover. I love just, it's like, I don't know. I'm excited about it, but I'm also just like nervous. I don't like putting negative things into the world when it like affects people. If I hate John Green, no one cares. John Green is like so far above me that like it's irrelevant. My thoughts are irrelevant, but I don't know. Hello, little. Yeah, so I gotta read this. Once I get into it, I'll be fine. It's just like picking it up, it's just, I always put off indie books for that reason. Irrelevant to the book. It looks good. I hope I love it. And then I have Snow Crash by Neal Stephenson, which was described to me like Ready Player One, but better. And I'd wanted to read it for a minute, but I was kind of waiting till I finished Ready Player One, because that was like on my currently reading for 2.5 years while I didn't touch it. And I finally finished it in May. So I can actually pick up Snow Crash now, and hopefully I will like it. It has a similar premise to Ready Player One. Basically like a virtual reality world with like a search and destroy mission. There's a villain threatening to like destroy the virtual reality world, I think. I don't know. Similar to Ready Player One, but I'm looking forward to this. Life's Dominion, an argument about abortion, euthanasia, and individual freedom by Ronald Dworkin. I've had this on my shelf for literal years, like 7 years maybe. I'm pretty sure I got this from the book fair that I like to go to out in Green Valley. They have like this massive book fair. When was this published? I'm curious. Oh, 90s. This was published in 93. Okay. But yeah, with everything going on in America, this seemed kind of relevant. Yeah, so I'm gonna be reading it. I think it's just about like, I think it's like a legal argument. Perhaps. He's a public philosopher. I don't know what that means. It does deal with Roe v. Wade. I was intending to read this before Roe v. Wade got overturned, before it became like completely outdated, but that ship has sailed, which is depressing. But I do plan to read this. I don't know how much I'll like it because I don't really know anything about Ronald Dworkin, but it does seem relevant to our times. I'm almost done. This is way too many books. Like, the more I'm going through them, the more I'm like, I can't read all of this. I'm not going to read all of this. I'll read like 4 of these. All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood. I meant to look up the booktuber who talked about this. Bobby reads too much. I will link her down below. She loved this years and years ago. Yeah, it's about a romance between 2 people, and one of them is very young. Like, one of them is an adult and then one of them is not an adult, and I don't know. I like books that deal with sensitive topics like that. I don't know how I'll feel about it. Bobby really loved it, and it did seem like a subject matter that I enjoyed. It's just, I think the thing is that it deals with the relationship in kind of a positive way because there's so much abuse going on that, like, this relationship is less abusive than, like, everything else. So, very, like, sensitive topics that need to be handled delicately, which I like. I like reading about that kind of thing. I don't know anything else about this. It mentions a meth lab on the back. The description of this is like 4 lines long, so it's not very helpful. But I will link Bobby's channel down below if you're interested in her, because that was where I heard about this book. And then finally, the last thing, we're finally at the end. America Anonymous, 8 Addicts in Search of a Life by, oh, I should have looked up this author's name, Benoit Denizet-Lewis. This is nonfiction. Is this the only nonfiction? No, I have the abortion book. Yeah, wait, is it nonfiction? Yes, it's listed as psychology. It's just about addicts in America. I think just like 8 addicts around the country who are addicted to different things, probably. And just like how they're handling addiction and whatnot. I don't know anything about this. I've had this for years, like very long time ago. This is like a TBR of old books for the most part. Well, like 2 of them, 3 of them. But yeah, nonfiction about addiction. I don't have anything more to say about this book, but here's hoping all 8 of these are good. I have high expectations for some of them, and some of them I'm like a little more iffy on, but like a variety. So let me know down below if you've read any of these, what you thought of them if you have, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will be back at the end of August having read probably half of them. So thanks for watching.